First off, I'm all in on Mason Rudolph. I love Mason Rudolph. He's the savior. He's the chosen one. He's the promised child for the Steelers Nation. Good evening, degenerates, and welcome back to Degen Hours, NFL edition.
What a day.
We're coming at you on Friday. We got some big NFL games.
Oh, yeah.
Fantasy Championship weekend.
Fantasy
Championship weekend.
Lots of money at stake.
Congrats to Ryan for making it to the championship.
Trying to go back to back, baby.
You won last year. You're the only two-time champion. Trying to make it three total.
Give it to me this week.
First ever back-to-back. It would be a big deal.
Dear God, please.
Big deal.
Yeah,
Please.
As you can tell, everyone's on my side.
We
baby.
cannot have this happen. We definitely cannot have
Be a
this happen.
travesty.
Oh,
It would be a travesty. But we have a lot of games to talk about. We're obviously going to be betting the sides, but like we said, Fantasy Championship, we're all over the players. So if there's any players that we think are going to have big weeks, we're going to let you know. Without further ado, let's get into the action.
Woo.
First game out of the 5 we are going to be talking about. These are all huge games. A lot of playoff implications on the line. Yep. The only Saturday game this week, Lions at Cowboys. Woo. Huge game in the NFC, a lot of playoff implications. Dallas -6, total 53.5. Tate, I'm going to kick this one off with you. Cowboys been a little slow the last couple weeks. A little shaken up, lost to the Dolphins last week, last second field goal. Mm-hmm. Do they cover this 6-point spread against a pretty hot Lions team?
Yeah, I mean, taking the Cowboys the last 2 weeks in a row have been a little painful.
Yeah.
Last week wasn't that bad. I mean, it was the spread was 1.5, so it's kind of brutal.
They lost by 2.
They lost by 2. And they definitely had chances to win the game, but you just can't deny their production at home. The Cowboys for some reason, they're a different team at home.
Wagons.
They are just like absolute wagons. They murder. They put up a ton of points.
Yeah.
The Lions have shown signs of weakness in weird spots. I know there's the Jared Goff, the dome thing. He's got to be playing in a dome.
Yep.
But it's a dome in Dallas.
Dome in Dallas.
Dallas dome.
I think Dallas is going to continue to roll, and I think they're going to continue the trend of scoring a lot of points. This Lions defense is nothing to write home about. We've seen teams put points all over them all year long. So I'm just going to ride with the team that I think is going to score a lot of points and not have to rely on the Lions to keep up with the offense because I know Dallas' defense is good. So I'm going to ride Cowboys -6.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it all year. I'll continue to say it. Lions are frauds. Lions are frauds. Lions are frauds. This is a spot where I could be proven wrong, but I won't be. Cowboys should murder them. I also think this over is going to be as free as anyone can ever give it to you. I mean, Cowboys are going to score a million. Lions they have a good offense. They're going to score. I think they'll put up points. Shout out CeeDee Lamb legacy game. I think that guy
legacy season.
No, yeah,
what a year for CeeDee Lamb.
That's my dog for sure. I love CeeDee.
He's really, really good. Like really, really
Shout out him being top 5 fantasy. That's
Give out
my
a
dog.
player prop.
for sure.
But yeah, just whatever CeeDee's lines is, if it's like 85 yards, bet it to like 120, 130, and then bet 2 touchdowns in the game.
And then what about for the second half?
No, that's true. I'm worried they might bench him, so I don't want to lose your prop.
Fair enough.
So for the first half, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, but it'll be a million. They're going to use him, as you saw last week. When they put the ball in his hands, he eats. So I think it'll be a lot of points, and I just like the Cowboys on the spot here.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb 98.5 yards.
Yeah, put it up to 130.
Over. Yeah, it's kind of funny the way I'm going to lay this game out. I couldn't agree more with everything you guys said. The Cowboys are a much better team than the Lions. Forget what the records are. I get the Lions have 11 wins. Cowboys have 10. If the Cowboys are coached and play correctly, I think they blow them out here. Unfortunately, based on what I've seen the last couple weeks, I don't think that will happen. If you watch last week's game, they fed CeeDee Lamb in the first half every single drive. Yeah. The second drive of the game, they gave him the ball 5 times, went down, scored a touchdown. He had 100 yards at halftime.
Yeah.
You know what he did in the second half?
Nothing.
Less than 20 receiving yards. They didn't throw the ball to him at all.
Yep.
So I get it was a close game. I know they were in a battle, but I don't trust this Cowboys team to properly manage a game, especially against, I get we say the Lions are frauds, and I don't think they're as good as their record says, but they have 11 wins. They can get the first seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
They win 2 more games. The 49ers or Eagles drop 1. All of a sudden, the Lions are the 1 seed. They have a bye. So this is a big game for the Lions, and I just don't trust the Cowboys to cover this big of a number. I could see them winning. I could also see the Lions winning. But if they are coached correctly and feed CeeDee Lamb the ball every single play of the entire game, they blow them out. I don't trust the Cowboys to do that. So I'm taking the Lions +6 here. I think the Cowboys, the last couple weeks, I don't know, they look a little broken to me. Something doesn't seem right there. I know they're a better team. The Lions have that energy. That speech by Dan Campbell just got me fired up when I watched it. I mean, he was there on that Lions 0-16 team. He became their coach 2 seasons later, turned it around. They won the division. This is a huge season for them. So I think they get up in a big way in the Dome. Give me the Lions +6.
Yeah, I could not disagree more. I genuinely do hate the Cowboys. But with that being said, I mean, if we're thinking about last week's game against the Dolphins, it was supposed to be close. I mean, the spread was 1.5 for a reason. Dolphins have a very, very explosive offense.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're consistently putting up points. But you know what? Like, I mean, Dallas is 7-0 at home. They play a different ball game than when they play on the road. And I mean, it's kind of what Ryan was saying. I think the Lions are a fraudulent 11-win team. But I mean, Dallas -6 here, literally all day, every day, hammering
Twice
the
on
Cowboys.
Sunday.
Twice on Sundays.
Twice on Sunday. 3 times on Saturdays.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, they're
There
on
you go.
Saturday.
Yep.
Mario.
Yeah, this is a weird spread. First off, I love the over 53.5. I just think this game will be points. Lions play good inside a dome. Jared Goff can actually become a competent quarterback and complete the ball. And then Cowboys, obviously, at home, they're 7-0, like Mike said. So I think they'll hang in there. Yeah, I flip-flopped back and forth. I really love the Lions, and then I kind of was on the Cowboys. Now, I don't know. I'm just going to take the Cowboys -6 because there's just way more scenarios where they cover this than the Lions cover. So just give me Dallas minus the points. I don't know. I don't love it though. It's going to be a small play, but I do love the over.
Wow. Only one on the Lions.
There
Interesting. I kind of figured that would be the case. The Cowboys are a good team.
I was close on the Lions.
That's fair.
I've been a Lions rider
have-
all season.
The Cowboys have covered like every home game this year. They won by 6 or more points.
Oh, I believe it. I mean,
Yeah,
they're juggernauts at home, and they need this win.
Yeah.
They really need to get this one. If they lose 3 in a row, I mean,
That's it.
yeah, something's
that's
going
it.
on there.
That's it.
Next game, huge game in the AFC. Massive game.
Yeah.
These are the number 1 and 2 seeds in the AFC. The winner of this game, more than likely the 1 overall seed going into the playoffs. Dolphins at Ravens. Baltimore -3.5 on Sunday. Total 47.5. Mario, I'm going back to you here. This is, like we said, kind of a playoff game. It's for a bye.
100%.
So it gets you to the divisional round. Who do you like in this matchup?
I just love Ravens way too much in this spot. I feel like the public's probably going to be all over the Ravens. That defense, I mean, in my opinion, them and the 49ers are just two best defenses, two best teams.
Yeah.
I mean, way too many scenarios where just they create turnovers. Like, I don't know if Tyreek Hill will be totally taken out of the game, but I think they can definitely handle him. And,
Especially if Waddle doesn't play. They don't know if Waddle's going to play.
and
No, I heard he might be out for the
That's
season.
serious.
and just that pressure that they have, like Tua under pressure. I've never been sold on Tua. I think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he's in that elite level.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of like where you see the good teams really start taking it up a notch. And
I mean, the Ravens showed you they can do that last
the
week.
Ravens definitely showed you they could do it.
Quickly, as far as the public concerned, actually, only 44% of the bets are on the Ravens, 65% of the money. So more bets are on
Oh
the
my
Dolphins
God,
here.
This might be like
Wow.
a nuke.
I mean, I might have to nuke this. I love Baltimore -3.5. So
Yeah, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to just echo what Mario said, but going into last week, I thought the Ravens and the 49ers were 1 and 2. For the whole NFL, Ravens handily beating them, I think it shows so much. I've loved the Dolphins all year round.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to say this about NFL, but there's again levels to this shit. And Ravens are the best team in the NFL. They're not going to lose they're not going to lose number 1, and they're going to win by more than 3.5. I mean, they're going to stomp on them.
Yeah, I think this is too easy. Ravens -3.5. I think I have to be missing something. I was hoping someone would take the Dolphins because I really want someone to tell me what I'm missing here. I've looked at this game up, down, sideways, left, right.
Yep.
I don't know why this is only 3.5. I get they beat the Cowboys by 2, but the Dolphins, on the road especially, they haven't beat anyone good. Like on the
on the road.
Yeah, on the road,
Yeah.
especially. And I mean, the only team they beat that was good was the Cowboys, but too.
Yeah.
This Ravens team is just rolling. I mean, we talked about it in the roundup. Lamar Jackson's MVP favorite, doing a lot with not a whole lot on the offensive side of the ball. That defense is crazy good. They turned Brock Purdy over 4 times.
And got a pick on Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's too easy. I must be missing something. The public line encourages me.
Yeah.
Because the fact that not 50% of the public is on them makes me think that maybe I'm actually sharp here. But this feels trappy to me.
It feels trappy.
It just I'm betting Ravens big here, but this feels trappy, and I wouldn't be surprised if something crazy happens. But yeah, hammering Ravens -3.5.
Yeah, this is. I agree with you. This line is just fucked up. Like Vegas is just. Normally I'm trying to find a way to think of what Vegas is doing. Like if they're trying to set it at a number where they want people to emphasize on the other side, and that's what I thought they'd do. I thought this would be at like 6.5, like at least 5.5, and it'd be big.
Yeah.
But they made it so small, and it's barely outside a field goal, which I know they do the weird like field goal and touchdown numbers. But I mean, this is just a murder. I mean, Ravens just handily beat the team people
Best
thought
team
was
in football.
Best team in football all around on every part of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, Dolphins, they beat a good Cowboys team, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it was a really close game where they were losing and they won in the last 3 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
and
they
like,
should have lost.
Nothing made it flashy where they should have won, and it was at home. Like, Dolphins had to play at home. So, I mean, Ravens have looked good on the road. They looked even better at home. Their defense is unbelievable. Lamar Jackson is playing at that MVP level. I think he's moving, and the thing he's done this year, which he's never done in the years prior, doesn't turn over the ball, which I think makes him unstoppable.
Yeah.
If he doesn't fumble, he used to run around and fumble and be like, all right, stop running around, like kind of like Justin Fields does. He runs around and he's unstoppable. He's literally unstoppable if he doesn't turn the ball over. I think that'll continue. They're the best team in football, and I mean, you're right. We must be missing something because this should be a max play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ravens.
Tate, is this consensus?
Yeah, it's consensus.
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 It's kind of weird.
It's a weird consensus.
I really hope on Sunday we're like, dude, wow, thank goodness. Like,
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
this is-
21-3.
Yeah, this is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Vegas made a huge mistake.
But they did because they got.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I
More
was
bets
just
are-
gonna say. Is I think like when Ryan was talking about like why are they saying it here and not 6 or whatever, it's like, dude, clearly they set the right line. They got 55%
They know what
of
they're
the
doing.
bets.
It is early though. Like, you know what I mean?
That's
Like,
fair.
I feel like
No, that's fair.
yeah.
We'll
That's
know
fair.
by game time.
Yeah, if like they don't know Waddle's for sure out.
I think he's for sure out. They said he
he's
might be
got a
out
high
the rest of
ankle
the season.
sprain. That's tough. I mean, if he's not out, he's gonna be like it's gonna
Same
be
with
Probably.
Tyreek.
Yeah.
It's like even though Tyreek was a go, all of a sudden he's
Yeah.
not the same Tyreek.
I kind of feel as if you should just bet this line now and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna bet it and then forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right. I mean, Lamar Jackson was my MVP candidate at the beginning of the year.
Great pick.
That's
Sharp.
turning out way too well for me right
Sharp.
now because halfway through the year or even 3 games ago, I was like, nah,
was dead.
yeah, it's pretty much dead. I mean, not dead, but there wasn't really a road.
There wasn't
like,
much going for
yeah,
it.
exactly.
We haven't seen this much line movement in MVP favorites this late in the
This
season.
late in the
It's
season.
crazy. You
Yeah.
go from plus 400 to minus 200 in a week.
Yeah.
anyone could beat anyone. That's why it's
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So, I mean, I just have to ride with my MVP favorite here. I think the Ravens are the best team in the NFL. I think 3.5 is just, it's just so sick.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I just
mean,
thought of something.
yeah.
Sorry, I
I
just
don't
thought
know.
of something when you said that. The same way we said last week, Lamar Jackson going in and beating Brock Purdy puts him as MVP favorite. If you like the Dolphins here, which none of us do,
Yeah.
Oh,
is it
just bet.
semi-sharp
Tua.
to bet Tua for MVP? If they go in and win big, like they're the 1 seed in the AFC, all of a sudden,
If they win this game,
that's what I'm saying. Does
Tua
he
will
go from
probably-
like plus
just
couple
so
thousand to
100%,
MVP?
yeah.
We've seen so much movement
100%.
already.
He can't take the lead though. There's no way that
do
you
you
would
mean?
have an
His stats
argument.
aren't
He's
good
the-
enough.
Yeah,
what do you
there's
mean?
no
He's
way.
leading the NFL. His stats are way better than Lamar Jackson's. Tua's literally leading the NFL in pass yards and
He's probably
completion
the best
percentage.
touch everywhere.
I also
That's
feel
what-
like you,
Lamar Jackson would be the worst statistical MVP.
I also feel like MVPs take into account wins and dominance of like.
That's what I'm
teams,
saying.
right? So it's
Dolphins
like-
would be the 1
Technically.
seed.
Ravens have a great defense.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that it would be enough for him to close the gap or make an argument that like
He's not
he should get
even
MVP.
low.
No, I don't think he's low, but I think look, Granted,
I see
he's
what
not
you're saying.
even above. He's not even the favorite, but for you to put Tua above even CMC, I think is just belligerent.
Yeah, I mean, none of us are betting that because we all are on the Ravens. I'm just saying an interesting, when you said that, it came out and I was like, wait, we saw the two quarterbacks play last week.
Yeah.
The winner became the
that's
favorite.
actually a great point.
One was
They were first and second.
400.
Yeah.
No, they were first and second, but this is first and third.
Yeah. No, we'll see.
And the second's a running back, which they only love to give it to quarterbacks.
Yeah. If you're on the Dolphins, maybe sprinkle to MVP.
100%.
Maybe sprinkle to MVP. Next game, also a very big game for playoff implications for both of these teams. Steelers at Seahawks. Go Steelers. Seattle -3.5, total 41.5. Ryan, we're both Steelers fans. We're riding. I'm starting with you. Can the Steelers cover and can we win the game?
No, yeah, I mean, last week I loved the spot. I knew Steelers were going to win that handily. I just didn't know it was going to be that handily. I loved it.
That was true.
Hopefully we get that back this week. This is going to be one of the toughest games we've had all year. Going into Seattle, playing against this team that is
For sure.
very good all around the ball. Like defense, they have players that are special players. On offense, they can move. I think Gino finally they had they needed a comeback win last week against Tennessee and they got it. And I just think this is a very good team. If Mason Rudolph beats this Seattle team in Seattle, I will say nothing wrong with him for the rest of my life. I actually think this is going to be a very tough game for him. I'm never going to bet against us, so obviously I'm taking the +3.5. But, I mean, it's going to be a tough game. Hopefully our defense has bounced back, so I really like the under 41.5. But it's going to be a really, really tough game to wrap my head around them winning, but I'm going to root for them and bet them, of course.
Yeah. So, first off, I'm all in on Mason Rudolph. I love Mason Rudolph. He's the savior. He's the chosen one. He's the promised child for the Steelers Nation. That being said, I have heavy Steelers win total over 8.5 on the season. Does anyone know who we play next week after the Seahawks?
I'm guessing the Panthers because
We play the Ravens.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, Ravens, we just talked about, is the best team in football. The Steelers, I need to get over this 8.5 number.
This is the week.
We have 8 wins.
Wait. Can Ravens lock the 1 seed this week?
No.
If the Dolphins lose and...
If the Dolphins and Browns lose, maybe. I think.
Ravens bench their players.
That would be
There's
amazing.
no reason. There's literally no reason to play. If you have the 1 seed, there's never reason to
The
play.
thing is, they won a lot of games with Tyler Huntley last year, so it's still a little bit
who
of a
knows,
sweat.
but
It's a little sweat.
What I was getting at here is the Steelers, we want to make the playoffs, right? We have 8 wins. Put my bet aside. This is a playoff game for the Steelers.
Yep.
This is a playoff game. Mike Tomlin has never been under 500. And, I mean, we can hope for the Ravens to bench their players. I don't think we'll beat the Ravens outright. So I think this is Mike Tomlin's line in the sand game. He needs to win this game. It looks like we're going with Mason Rudolph to start, which is what I think we should do. I love the Steelers outright here. I love the +3.5. I think we get it done. We had to carry the momentum in against the Bengals last week. Dominant win this week puts us at 9 wins. We're right in the mix for the playoffs where we should be. I love this spot because I think we need this spot. If we lose this game, I'm going to have a really, really tough time next week against the Ravens. So, and I also don't know necessarily if the Browns are going to lose to the Jets on Thursday. So, I guess when this comes out, we'll already know.
Yeah.
So, if the Browns lost to the Jets, maybe the Ravens bench their players. We'll see what happens.
Dolphins
Find
can
out a
easily
little
lose.
bit.
Mike, are you riding the Steelers or is this a spot for Seattle?
I am actually going to be taking the under of 41.5. Holy smokes. I am on crack. No, I'm sorry. I'm taking the over of 41.
Damn it, I was so
Sharp.
excited.
No, I am taking
He's taking the under.
Dude,
I'm
hit
sorry.
the under are
I'm
just
sorry.
never
I
up.
confused myself. But no, I'm taking the over of 41.5. This is playing in Seattle is a very, very difficult spot. Seattle also has a pretty strong offense with DK and Lockett and everyone else down there. Granted, they're not the greatest and most explosive, but I do think it is tough to slow them down to a small amount of points. Steelers, I can see them playing in this pretty tight. With that being said, they have to put up points to do so. So I am taking the over of 41.5.
No side?
No side. Not going to go against my boys because my gut tells me Seattle, but I'm not going to take it over.
Respect.
Only the over.
Respect.
Mario.
I mean, I guess I'm sorry. Don't know how else to put it. I like Seattle a little bit too much in the spot.
Yeah.
I I know the Steelers' defense is good. I think Seattle's defense is pretty good too. I don't think Mason Rudolph's gonna have the same week he did last week. Just tougher environment.
Santa's done with work. No more Rudolph.
That's I mean, maybe I don't know.
No more Christmas.
I just think tougher environment. It's going to be a much different game from last week, unfortunately for the Steelers. Don't think they're going to be in control of the tempo of the game like they were last week, which is why I think why they had so much success. They could really lean on the run game. Run game was
Najee was
doing good. I love Kenneth Walker. I love DK Metcalf, who's actually been balling out.
He's been exploding.
Literally, I mean, he's been on a different level. He's really taken it up a notch. Also, beginning of the year, it was like DK, Tyler Lockett, a little bit of Jackson Smith and Jigba. You're starting to see him late in the season.
Drafting that high.
The reason, you're seeing him now. Everything he learned from Lockett, he just sat back a little half the year. Now, I mean, he's making clutch catches, really kind of like paving a way for himself in this offense. I don't know. I just love the Seahawks too much at home. Really tough place to play, like they said.
Yeah.
So if I had to give out a side, it would be the Seahawks minus 3.5.
Tate?
First of all, I was dead wrong about the game last week. I like the Bengals. The Steelers were on a losing streak, and I was just that was terrible. Steelers proved me absolutely wrong. But I mean, unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to roll with Mario here. This line is just so weird. The fact that they went and took the hot Bengals team, and then they just dismantled them at home, and it was just like the Steelers show. It was Mason Rudolph to George Pickens, and they were rolling.
Pickens. We hadn't mentioned Pickens.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Pickens yet.
What a game.
Insane balls, some insane catches from George Pickens, just absolutely blow up week. I think they come back down to earth this week, but you kind of have to think, well, it's 3.5. Like, you like the Steelers in a close game, but why is it 3.5? Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the Seahawks at home, maybe it's because they know that it's not like that miracle game 2 games in a row for Mason Rudolph. I think the smart pick here, the sharp pick is the Seahawks minus 3.5 at home, but
that's all right.
That's where I'm going to
Me and Ryan will ride standalone riders.
Let's blow Tate's pick out back-to-back weeks.
Let's do it.
I hope for you guys, I hope I'm wrong.
Let's do it.
Well, for the Steelers, it's not even about covering. It's more about
You got to win.
You need to win.
That's what I'm saying. I hope we blow.
You got to win the game.
Yeah.
Next game, an interesting one. Bengals at Chiefs. Yeah. Kansas City 7-point favorites. Total 44.5. Tate, I'm going back to you. We just saw both of these teams kind of get manhandled last week.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we talk about the Chiefs probably on every episode. I feel like their game is almost on every single episode. And luckily enough, it wasn't last week. But last year, the previous years, like, I have a rule. I just don't like betting against the best player in football. And that's Patrick Mahomes. And
they have not been great against the spread.
It's been so bad.
They've been really
just so bad. And every week you got to say, this week they got to cover. They got to do it this week. They got to figure it out. They got to do something. And I don't know. The Bengals have shown their signs of life. I mean, T. Higgins has been stepping it up. But I'm gonna continue to ride the best player in football. I mean, I just can't. I can't bet on the Bengals. I have to ride with the Chiefs at some point. I mean, they're not, like Ryan said, he can be proven wrong in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But not now. I don't know. I feel like at some point they gotta get up. I mean, it's just insane. It's insane at this point. Patrick Mahomes playing out of his mind. He's pissed at everyone on the team. No one else is playing well. Just Patrick Mahomes. Their defense is playing pretty well.
Kelsey's looking old.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe Taylor Swift is the curse.
No, literally, bro. He doesn't. His mind. He used to be the fun, competitive guy that would go crazy, and like scream. He just seems like bored out there.
Yeah, he's not doing anything.
And Mahomes is not giving the ball because of it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to it here. If Mason Rudolph just beat the Bengals at home 30-something to 11, no way Patrick Mahomes isn't doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Woes in the offense, Andy Reid, Kelsey dating Taylor Swift, whatever you want to call it. It's just the same thing as last week. If the Steelers did it Chiefs defense is pretty good. Steelers haven't been that good. Their defense is incomparable. I think the Chiefs offense is better. They haven't been as good, but Steelers did it. Chiefs will do it at home, especially with the momentum. I mean, kind of like the Jaguars. The Chiefs they're not a lock to make the playoffs.
They kind of
say
are,
they are.
well, because of the division.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
The Raiders could still win the division.
Well, yes, but the Raiders and the Chargers both have 7 wins, I think. Let me pull it up.
Versus
Yo,
the
sorry,
nine.
Broncos and the Raiders both have 7 wins. The Chiefs would
Versus
need to
the nine.
lose the last 2 games
So
and lose a couple
Raiders have to
tiebreakers.
win.
I mean, they just lost to the Raiders at home.
Yeah.
They play against the Bengals who scored points. Like I think anything can happen, and this is now in like Jags playoff mode where it's like, all right, we got to make the playoffs and at least stretch for that home game if the 1 or 2 seed falls.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is just a huge spot. And like I said, nothing really. Mason Rudolph can do it. Patrick Mahomes will do it. Simple as that.
Yeah. I couldn't be more on the opposite side here. The Chiefs are not the same team that they were last year, not even close. And I totally agree with you when we're talking about big picture things. Like, they'll prove you wrong in the playoffs. The Chiefs will make the playoffs. I'm not worried about the Chiefs missing the playoffs at all. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to win their division. They already can't get the 1 seed. So no matter what, I just think they're going to win the division. They'll have a home playoff game, maybe go on the road the next round. The Bengals here, +7 is easy. This is really, really easy. The public betting is interesting on this one. The line was KC -8. 63% of the bets, 81% of the money on the Bengals. The Bengals in a huge bounce back spot here. I don't even know if the Chiefs win this game. I definitely don't think they cover by 7. Betting against Chiefs spreads has been printing all season long. That's not going to change now. Nothing's changed about this team. The Bengals were in a weird spot last week. They were hot, and then they just get smoked by the Steelers. I think this is a good bounce back spot for them. I think they could win this game too.
Yeah.
So give me the Bengals.
I could not agree anymore with you. Similar to what you were saying, Chiefs have a 2-win cushion to win their division. And I mean, look, the thing is that everyone is so reliant on the Chiefs to just kind of come back and somehow become the Chiefs of the old. Putting a spread of more than a touchdown is really, really tough against
It's right at
in the
a
spot.
touchdown. It's
right at
7.5, right?
It's 7.
Oh, 7. Regardless, I don't know. I think it's too many points. I'm going to take the Bengals +7 here.
Mario.
Yeah, this game's weird. Line opened at like 8 or 8.5, and I really love the Bengals at that spot, but now that it's getting around a touchdown, I don't know. Even though it should make me like the Bengals more, I'm kind of like getting cold feet and kind of flipping back.
Flip flop.
I know. It just seems like a bounce back spot, honestly, for Kansas City. They're going to be at home, which I love. I know this team has experience playing against Kansas City, but usually in the past, when the Bengals have gone to KC, it's with Joe Burrow, Jake Browning. Obviously, he's been all right.
Joe Burrow Jr.
Yeah, Joe Burrow Jr. Last game,
Not so much.
not so much. I think a big part of that, too, also, it's going to be whether Jamar Chase plays. You saw last week when he was not there. It kind of just like it's easy to just hone in on T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Jamar's like not even fully healthy, just him being out there, that's going to take some pressure off, and it just leaves T one-on-one.
And they still let T have a game. I mean, he had 140 and a touchdown, and they still got blown out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was just kind of like meaningless yards because Mason was just dealing. I don't know. I think I'm just going to ride with Kansas City -7. Worst comes to worst, maybe it's a push, but I think they roll big here.
Gotcha. All right, last game, Sunday Night Football.
Woo!
Big game in the NFC for one team in particular. Packers at Vikings. Vikings 2-point favorites at home. Total 46.5. Mario, I'm going back to you.
Yep.
What do you like in this spot?
I actually like the Packers in this spot, believe it or not. I just think it's a spot where the Packers defense will weirdly just kind of show up. Jair Alexander always plays well against Justin Jefferson, so I don't know. Just give me the Packers. I think Jordan Love's been looking good. They've been winning. I know the Vikings have a little bit of life left, but it's just too inconsistent with the quarterback play. I can't bet on them. So give me the Packers, and I do like the over 46.5. I think there will be points.
Mike?
I am right there with you. I think this is a battle of two teams that are pretty irrelevant. Like neither one has been close to the spotlight in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I honestly don't really know why, but gut feel Packers +2 here. So yeah, that's kind of that.
Packers is the sharp side.
There
For
you
sure.
go.
It's a 50-50 split on the money, 50-50 split on the bets, 77% of the money on the Packers as 2-point road dogs. Look, Jordan Love has been balling this year. He's been playing really, really well. I think this Packers team has found something. They're starting to use Aaron Jones a little more, finally.
Find out he's a good player.
Yeah, and I don't think the Vikings are that good. Justin Jefferson's back. He balled out. Amazing catch last week when the game was on the line. But his team couldn't pull through for him. They really can't pull through.
No.
He's all they have. I think the Packers roll here. I like them outright, and I love the +2. I'm going to be hammering this in Sunday Night Football. I think Jordan Love deals. He's been doing it all season. He's going to continue to put up big numbers.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how the Packers aren't favored in this game. They're I mean, they looked very good, especially lately, and Vikings just look terrible. I mean, there's really nothing to it. I have no idea why this is only. I mean, I'm taking Vikings -2. There's no reason why the Packers shouldn't be favored. I don't know why.
Home?
It's a division game. I don't know. The Vikings are terrible. It's a division game. The Vikings almost beat the Lions last week. They had a drive. They threw a pick on the 5-yard line to lose the game. So I don't know. I just think this is a weird spot. I don't know. I'm gonna hammer the over, but I like the Vikings -2. I don't know. It's a weird spot.
All right, Tate.
Yeah, I think it definitely is a weird spot. I'm gonna ride with the Packers here. They did lose, but they got blown out at home by the Vikings earlier this year. The Packers did, and I mean, obviously Kirk Cousins is not throwing the ball anymore, but Nick Mullins hasn't been that bad. He's been okay.
He's been all right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's been all right. He's
a backup.
He's a backup.
Yeah,
he's a decent backup. But I kind of just love the idea of them splitting, and then they're gonna go. I mean, they got blown out at home. I think they can beat this Vikings team. I think +2 it's a good spot.
This is a playoff game.
Yeah,
Both teams got to win.
Yeah.
Whoever loses is out of the playoffs no matter what.
Yeah.
But there you have it. Those are the 5 games. Big games this week. A lot of good games. Now we're going to tell you every NFL bet we are taking for our cards.
The cards.
And here we have it. We are at the cards section of the episode. Bet. We're going to tell you every NFL bet we are making this week. We're in Vegas for the games. Going to be betting them big. Tate, kick us off. Tell us every bet you have on your card.
All right, we're going to start off the card with the Cowboys -6 against the Lions. They're a different team at home. They should roll over the Lions. Having said that, I love the Cowboys team total over of 30.5. This team just puts up 1 million, and the Lions defense sucks. Bears -3 against the Falcons. I still hate the Falcons, and I like the Bears now. I think that defense is good, and Justin Fields is finally starting to find his footing. Love that bet. I'm gonna ride the hype. I think all the money, all the bets are on the Colts this week. I like the Raiders. I don't know why. +3. Antonio Pierce has got those boys fired up. I like it. I don't know. Maybe Aiden O'Connell finally steps out. Probably not. Who cares? Love their defense. Eagles -10.5 against the Cardinals. Cardinals are poverty. They're going to lose out. They're terrible.
You're not wrong.
Niners Commanders over 48.5. Niners come out firing against this team. Commanders are always good for garbage time points. Ravens -3.5 against the Dolphins. Bet it, forget it, like I said. And CJ Stroud coming back -3.5 against the Titans.
Is that a lock? Is he for sure coming back?
CJ Stroud?
Yeah.
I heard he might come back, so.
I heard prob. So hopefully
probable
it's yes.
lock.
Hopefully it's yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, starting off, let's get back. We have Cowboys Lions over 53.5 points. Also, Cowboys team total over 30.5. They'll score 1 million. Steelers Seahawks under 41.5. Don't think there'll be a lot of points in that game. Ravens -3.5 versus the Dolphins, and the Ravens team total over 25. Lots of points for them. Also, same thing. Bills -12 versus the Pats at home. I don't think the Pats can compete for this certain game, especially in Buffalo. And also, Bills team total over 26 versus the Pats. Worst comes to worst, they score a lot of points. Colts -3 versus the Raiders. I think the Cinderella story stops this week. I think the Colts are going to play good at home, slow it on the Raiders. Also, I don't think the Raiders will keep up. Jags -7 versus the Panthers. There's just no way, right? That's my only point of that game. There's just no way they can't. I mean, there's just no way. That's all. Titans Texans over 42.5. Just thinking points. No idea how, but there'll be points. Rams -6 versus the Giants. Rams have been on fire. Rams team total over 23.5. They're going to score like crazy. Bucks -3 versus the Saints. Bucks have been sneaky good. They find a way to win. I don't know how. I can't really explain it. They might not win a playoff game, but they'll win this game easily. 49ers minus 13.5 versus the Commanders. There's no way they don't bounce back in this spot and absolutely explode.
Yeah, they have to murder.
Commanders defense is terrible, and that's why I'm doing the 49ers team total over of 31. We have the Bengals Chiefs over 44.5. The Bengals give up a lot of points and nobody knows it. Chiefs bounce back week to score. Easy over here. Broncos minus 5.5 versus the Chargers. I really think the Chargers aren't playing for anything, and the Broncos at home, big game. You need this for a playoff spot. I think their defense straps this week. And then the triple dip to end the week, we have the Packers Vikings over 46.5. Packers team total over 22, and the Vikings team total over 24. So I think there'll be
points.
a ton of points.
Points. Here you have it. The games we already talked about. I love Lions plus the 6, Ravens minus the 3.5, Steelers outright and plus the 3.5, Bengals plus 7, big spot against the Chiefs, and the Packers plus 2 on Sunday night. Next 3 bets, I think CJ Stroud is playing. Gotta ride Texans minus 3.5 against the Titans. Titans suck. I think Tannehill's playing.
I think Ryan Tannehill's
playing. Texans.
Yeah.
So the Jags-Panthers game, look, I'm betting the Jags because I bet the Jags every week. I don't know if they beat the Panthers. I'm betting Jags minus 7. That's the bet on the card, but be very wary. If I didn't have to bet it every week, I wouldn't bet it every week. This is a scary spot.
Really?
The Panthers scored 30 last week.
I can't.
The Jags have been awful, lost 4 in a row. I think they need a win. Feels weird to me, but yeah, Jags minus 7. And last bet, I'm always betting Bears over. So Bears Falcons over 37.5.
I like it. All right, starting with the games that we already talked about, we're going to go Cowboys minus 6 against the Lions. We're going to go Ravens minus 3.5 against the Dolphins. And then we are going to go with the 49ers minus 13.5 against the... Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we did talk about that. Yeah, minus 13.5 versus Commanders.
We didn't talk about that game. But that's the correct line.
Yeah.
That is the correct line. I'm sorry. The game... I didn't mark them. The game that we did talk about, I am taking the Bengals plus 7 against the Chiefs.
There you go.
Now, the games we didn't talk about, including, of course, the 49ers minus 13.5. Rams minus 6 against the Giants. We have been rolling, and we are going to continue to roll. We're going to go with, I am banking with you. I think CJ Stroud is coming back, so Texans minus 3.5 against the Titans. Riding with Mario's team, the Saints plus 3 against the Bucks. Again, kind of a gut feel. Don't really know why, but let's go.
Good gut feel.
We're going to go with the Raiders, Colts under of 43.5. No points at all. And Chargers, Broncos under 39.5. I hate both these teams so much that I want there to be 0 points. I want there to be 0 stats. Everybody puts up 0.
No stats.
Just no stats. Everybody puts up 0.
There you have it.
No stat game.
So no touchdown score would probably be the play for you.
That'd be sick.
I mean, you might have
There
to.
it is.
Yeah, right.
You got to hear live.
Bang.
Mario?
All right. Starting with the games we already talked about, Dallas minus a 6 and the over 53.5 against the Lions. Baltimore minus 3.5 against Dolphins. Already talked about that. Best team. Should be easy. Sorry again.
Yeah.
Seahawks minus 3.5 against the Steelers.
I respect it.
Yeah. It's only
It's
one
a pick show.
Yeah, it's a pick show. I got to give out a pick.
Got to give out.
I always got to give it outside. Kansas City minus 7 against Bengals and Packers plus 2 against the Vikings. Now for the games that we did not talk about. I heard CJ Stroud is probable. In my vocabulary, that means absolute lock.
100%.
So Texans minus 3.5 against the Titans, and with Ryan Tannehill playing, I mean, it might just old spread this 10.5.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a million.
13.5.
Colts minus 3 against Las Vegas. Really don't know why I like this line so much. It just kind of seems like a spot. Them at home. I don't know. Jags minus 7 against the Panthers. Dude, I really like this line. I don't know. It doesn't seem scary to me. It just seems like way too easy, actually.
Going against the Panthers is never a bad bet.
Yeah. I don't know.
Lately, I don't know.
They had,
Last week there was a sharp spot.
Good point.
Last week they were sharp.
Before they went outright.
Yep.
All right, good point.
We'll see. 49ers minus 13.5 against Commanders. Listen, Commanders are absolute trash.
Terrible.
Absolute trash. 49ers will make them feel or probably reconsider another profession.
Yeah.
Or change their name again.
Wow.
Yeah.
They should.
Saints plus 3 against the Bucks. Really only like this just because of the history of these two teams. Every time we play, it's just always a bloodbath. If you can find a Mike Evans ejection line, look that up. Marshawn and him.
Is Marshawn playing?
No, dude, he's not.
No, I don't think.
Oh,
No.
I would have bet Mike Evans under everything.
No, I actually looked at that and I was like, dude, I'm 100% hammering the Saints if Lattimore is playing. And I looked at him, dude, he's not.
Yeah, he's not playing.
So
but in the past when these two
Still,
play. Like,
not
I mean, they just always get in a fight.
They always fight.
And I mean, Jameis Winston will do something on the sideline.
He'll do something.
Demario Davis, like, dude,
Winston
like,
was locked in. I was at the Saints game last week. He was locked in. He didn't play a snap, but he was ready to go.
but he's out there visualizing.
staring.
Yeah, he
He's
knew
there.
what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough game. Bucks should win because they're honestly playing better. But I don't know. Weird spot. Saints +3. Eagles -10.5 against the Cardinals. I think Tate put it best. They are absolute poverty. So easy bet here. Bills -12 against the Pats. Patriots might not score over 10 points. So just give me the Bills. Giants +6 against the Ravens. I think they'll roll with Tyrod Taylor.
Rams, not Ravens.
That's what I meant. Rams. Yeah, I think they'll roll with Tyrod Taylor. And I don't know. He looked a little bit better than DeVito. DeVito
Marginally.
Hype,
Yeah.
the DeVito hype kind of died down pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last but not least, Bears -3 against the Falcons.
Love it.
2 reasons. 1, I hate the Falcons. And 2, love the Bears.
Ooh, there you have
just
it.
We need that. Oof.
Well, there's all the cards. A lot of picks coming your way.
A lot of
Yeah.
picks.
We had a Mortal Lock parlay that we gave out on Thursday in the college football episode.
Hey, if you like free money, I need you to listen up right here.
The subscriber picks parlay is a free roll we give to every subscriber, allowing anyone the chance to win up to $1,200 each week.
We put our own money at risk every single week on our 5 best bets, what we call Mortal Locks. And if our parlay hits, we'll be raffling off all of our winnings to one lucky subscriber who supports our amazing show.
Like the videos, comment on the videos, click that subscribe button below. We've already paid out $350 in our Mortal Lock Parlay winnings, and you're gonna be next.
All 5 picks in college. If you're interested to see what you're sweating, go ahead, look that up. But we are paying someone $1,000 who likes, comments, and subscribes on this video and Thursday video. Go ahead, drop one on the Wednesday video too. On that note, Tate, before the people log out, tell them what they have to do.
Boys, girls, women, children, men. Go on YouTube, click that subscribe button that's right below. There's one thing right next to it. It's a little like button, a little thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up.
Ooh.
Share it with your friend, leave us a comment, and then turn that notification bell on because we're going to win the Mortal Lock Parlay this week in college football.
There it is. Happy
it
New
is.
Year's, guys.
Happy
we'll
New
see
Year's.
you in 2024.
Happy New Year. Hook up.